So, when you think of castles in Edinburgh, one huge, famous fortress on a rock probably comes to mind, right? But just a few miles away, there's another one. A sprawling medieval ruin with a story so dark, it literally changed the course of Scottish history. This isn't just some pile of stones, it's the scene of a crime, a place where a queen's trust was shattered and a royal murder was born.
Okay, just take a look at the scale of this place. This is Craigmillar Castle. It's not perched on a volcano like its famous neighbor, but believe me, it's every bit as formidable. And for centuries, it held one of the nation's most explosive secrets right within these walls. And this, right here, is the heart of our story. It's a tale that starts with a queen desperately seeking safety, which then spirals into a shadowy conspiracy and ends with a murder that would haunt Scotland for generations to come. So, to really get a grip on this conspiracy, we have to start with the castle's most famous guest, who arrived at probably the lowest point of her entire life.
You see, in November of 1566, Mary, Queen of Scots, showed up here. But she wasn't here for a party or some grand royal tour. No, she was basically on the run, not from an army, but from her own treacherous court, and really, her own despair. She needed a sanctuary, a place to get away from it all.
She was in a really bad way. Physically weak after a serious illness and just emotionally broken. Her marriage to Lord Darnley was a complete disaster, the court was crawling with enemies, and she felt totally isolated and vulnerable. Craigmillar was supposed to be her escape, her place to heal.
And that is the central question, isn't it? How did this refuge, this safe house, become the very spot where a plot to commit murder was hatched? To figure that out, we've got to rewind a bit and understand the castle itself and the powerful family who built it. Because you see, this castle wasn't just some royal guest house. For centuries, it was the power base of one of Scotland's most influential families, the Prestons. And you can really see how this place grew and evolved over time. The Prestons got the land way back in 1374, and they started building right away. First up was that massive central tower house. That's the heart of the castle. Then, in the 15th century, Sir William Preston, inspired by castles he'd seen in France, adds this incredible courtyard wall, turning a tower into a real fortress. By the 1500s, it was the whole shebang, with an outer courtyard and even a family chapel. And believe me, this place was battle-tested. Back in 1544, during a conflict with the fantastic name of the Rough Wooing, which was basically England's Henry VIII trying to force a marriage for his son, English troops actually torched the castle. But the Prestons just rebuilt it, making it even stronger. Okay, and this is such a cool little detail. Even today, if you look closely in the grounds, you can see the faint outline of a fish pond shaped like the letter P. P for Preston, of course. It's like their literal stamp of ownership on the land, a personal touch that has outlasted the family itself. Which brings us right back to that dark, cold winter of 1566. Mary is holed up in the castle, she's depressed, she's unwell, and her nobles? Well, they see an opportunity. So this is where it all goes down. They called it the Craigmillar Bond. While Mary was trying to recuperate, a group of her most powerful lords were meeting in these very halls. They all decided that her husband, Lord Darnley, who was arrogant, violent, and just a total political nightmare, had to go. And they put it in writing, signing a secret pact to make it happen.
And this wasn't just idle talk. Just a few months later, the house where Darnley was staying in Edinburgh, a place called Kirk O'Field, was blown to pieces. His body was found in the garden outside. The conspiracy that was quietly planned in the halls of Craigmillar had just ended in explosive, very public violence.
So after a moment that dark and pivotal, the castle's story, and really all of Scotland's story, was changed forever. But what actually happened to Craigmillar itself? Well, the Preston era couldn't last forever, right? In 1660, the castle was sold to a Sir John Gilmore. He tried to modernize it, updating part of it for more comfortable living. But honestly, it was a pretty short-lived revival. The Gilmores pretty quickly moved into a newer, more comfortable mansion nearby. And so after being abandoned, Craigmillar started this whole new chapter. As a romantic ruin, artists would come to paint its crumbling walls, writers would compose poems about it, and it became this must-see spot for tourists. Even Queen Victoria herself paid a visit in 1886 just to see the famous atmospheric ruin. But the story doesn't end there in romantic decay. In the 20th century, this old castle found a brand new purpose. I mean, just look at it now. Thanks to some serious preservation efforts, Craigmillar is now seen as one of the most complete and impressive medieval castles in the entire country. It's not just a ruin anymore, it's a piece of history that's been brought back to life.
The castle was taken into state care back in 1946, and now it's managed by Historic Environment Scotland as a huge tourist attraction. And it's even found a new kind of fame as a filming location for big shows like Outlander, where it played the part of Ardmore Prison. Pretty cool, huh?
From a fortress to a crime scene, to a romantic ruin, and now to a film set, Craigmillar has worn so many different faces over the centuries, and today it's a place where you can literally walk through all those dramatic layers of Scotland's past.
And that's the question that just hangs in the air there. We know about the Craigmillar Bond. That's the most famous secret these walls ever held. But as you wander through its empty halls and its hidden passageways, you just can't help but wonder, what else happened here that we'll never, ever know?